If you've ever wanted to buy, start, or own a home service business, you've probably wondered which one you should get into. So in this video, we're answering that question in the form of a tier list ranking. We've actually put out 10 different great home services that are, some of them are more well known than others. Some of them are a little bit more niche. And we're going to basically rank them anywhere from a D ranking up to an S tier ranking, and just give you an idea of why we say that and which ones you might want to get into.
Yeah, this one was actually if you've seen part one probably at this point, and we definitely had some conflicting opinions on some of the placements of these,
and if you haven't seen part one yet, go back to, from wherever you're watching this, just go back a little bit and you should find it.
Yeah, this one we were kind of all in alignment out the gate, because for every business that we looked at, we considered the tangibility of the actual business, its profitability, its utility to a homeowner. But then we also took another angle on it and looked at the lifestyle, essentially, of an owner of that business to kind of factor in that. So on some of these, you'll hear us explain that while the business may be a higher rank, it falls because of the lifestyle of the owners of the people that we've talked to. So first on the chopping block.
Yeah. First thing is junk removal. This is top of mind. I'm getting into the junk removal business here. And Ryan and I really didn't have to go back and forth on this one much. We agreed pretty well. This is, we ranked this one an A. So junk removal.
Pretty easy A here, because most of the time junk removal has gotten more and more affordable, and, a small dumpster to a house is something that people see all the time. And even just, with somebody when people pass away, normally an estate sale, whatever doesn't get sold, a junk removal company comes in, takes out. Because what the alternative is, you pick up everything and move it yourself. Probably not going to do that. So
people move all the time and have to get rid of stuff.
Oh yeah.
So there's junk removal that happens there. There are fees associated with it. So there's a service to it. There's labor that goes into it. Sometimes loading up the trucks, getting it out of there.
You're lifting usually heavy stuff that nobody wants to deal with. So people are willing to pay to not have to deal with stuff like that. And that's kind of why we put it solidly in the A tier. It's a bit physical, but it's a fairly straightforward management of a business. You have solid work hours, and you don't have to there's no real emergencies that you have to be on call for.
And the profit margins of junk removal are pretty solid too. Usually anywhere from 20 to 30%. You can make 30% profit margin in a business, you're doing pretty well.
As long as you tighten in the ads and you got a good referral network, you'll do just fine.
That's right. Next up, we have restoration. So when we talk about restoration, we're really thinking about water, fire, mold restoration. And we struggled with this one a little bit.
Yeah, it was conceptually, you would say, okay, well, my house, I had a fire in my house or had a flood, got to repair it. So yeah, otherwise mold or other conditions happen. However, we considered that the lifestyle of an owner of a restoration company in the more successful areas is intense. Business does not wait, and normally it happens when you want to be sleeping. Jobs are long. You got to be coordinating all your people, equipment, and of course, there's a lot of competitors now entering the space that are franchises that are backed with more. So we put this solidly in the B category.
Now, the reason we put restoration as a B, because it does have incredible profit margins. Water restoration, particularly, you can be making 70 or 80% profit margins, because you're literally just bringing these machines. You don't have a lot of labor hours involved. It's really just owning a lot of assets that you can turn over quickly, and you're renting out those assets, just having someone drop them off, pick them up. So it's very, very high profit margin, not a lot of labor involved, but you are literally on the hamster wheel of emergency. And you're dealing with nothing but insurance companies, which we all know. I mean, everyone's had personal experiences dealing with insurance companies. You know that it's a nightmare. So you're dealing with nothing but insurance companies, and everything's an emergency. So the lifestyle of being a restoration business owner is just terrible.
We've talked with enough of them to know it takes a toll on the mental. And that's why many of them are, many of the ones that we've talked to have been, mid-30s, and they just want to sell, and they've got great profitable businesses. They're doing amazing, but it's a lot to deal with, and they would like to have their time back. So that's why we put it in B.
And if you fall out of that emergency response, then you go down the ladder with the insurance companies. They don't want to go to you because they couldn't rely on you that one time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it's a tough business to be in.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
Next one we have is mobile mechanic. So having someone come out and work on your vehicle. Mobile mechanic this is a tough business. This is a lot of just guy in his truck going out and doing the job. The profit margins are not very high because the guy that you're paying to come out and do it, you probably got to pay him, 150 to 250 to come out there and do it. But I mean, the amount that these guys just get thrown around and, tossed between different jobs. I mean, you're all over the place. Like, it's unreliable. It's crazy. You're dealing with all kinds of different situations and things all the time. This is a tough business.
Yeah, and if you've ever, mechanic fees, if you've ever seen them posted up at, even the chains, they're doing like 168 an hour. Now, I know a lot of times the business that they're employed by takes a good chunk of that 168 an hour because they are technically, doing that. But just like with anything, when you ever going to take your car into the mechanic for one thing and they tell you it's something else, and then they show you the actual thing in your car, and you're like, wow, damn, this was actually more, it's not always a scam, but when they're right, it's like, damn, well, now it's all this much more money. And there's only so much that a mobile mechanic can do. If you need to get your car up on a lift, well, now you got to call somebody to tow your car. So you just kind of wasted time. So it's definitely a solid C tier.
Yep. This one's a bad one. Not terrible, but it's not a great one.
Honestly, a great side hustle if you're a guy who is mechanically inclined and you got some people to pass around, on the weekends. I'm sure you can make good money coming out doing oil changes or doing some simple maintenance for people at their house. Like, definitely a lane for it, but
difficult business to scale because as far as the labor goes, a lot of them are just going to want to go out and do it on their own.
They can do their own thing.
Next up, we have carpet cleaning. This one, this is a good, solid business. It's not like a home run of a business. It's not a bad business. This is like a first base hit. So for that reason, we rated it a B.
I would say I would actually say it's like a double. You're getting on base, you're getting to second because, carpet's going nowhere, and carpet kind of comes in and out of style. I mean, there's going to be either more or less of it, but there will never not be it. So, especially when people are doing spring cleaning or they're getting ready for some sort of event, 9 times out of 10, they'll want a spring for a full deep clean, especially people with pets. So it's a business where if you're in that right area and you have the right network, you can see a good amount of recurring revenue, especially if you get like a commercial contract,
sure,
like a large office building, ton of carpet in those. So there are opportunities to get good recurring solid revenue streams if you can, but obviously getting to that point takes a bit of time. Easy job to do though.
Next up, we have moving. Moving is a fantastic business to be in. The success rate of moving businesses is maybe the highest in home services. And there's a simple reason for that. People are always moving, no matter what. You literally will never not have people moving. And there's always going to be a sub part of that market that is paying to have the moving done for them because, let's face it, moving is a nightmare when you have to do all the labor yourself. No one wants to do it. So we rated moving an A. Very low success rate. There's always going to be jobs out there. The jobs are decently profitable too. You can make some good money on the moving jobs and you don't have to pay the labor too much. Very easy to find labor, although it might be a little bit of a revolving door of people coming in and coming out. But moving is just a great industry to be in. There's a reason that pretty much every moving franchise, gets snatched up in big cities and good territories quickly. And it's just a great business to be in.
Again, the margins and the profitability depends on your area. Obviously, if you don't have a lot of people moving to where you're from or from where you're at, you can definitely feel the squeeze a bit, seasonality wise. But ironically, it's paired next to junk removal, which they go hand in hand. If you do one, do the other. You definitely find a lot of overlap in that. And quite honestly, there's a lot of bad moving companies that are profitable because at the end of the day, you don't have any choice. But if you can price accurately and provide very clear logistical and operational updates to your clients, you will get so many people for life. Like the amount of gray area in the moving industry it makes the ones that are good stand out so much greater. People are grateful for just the most basic stuff.
It's true. Next up, we have another A. This one, garage door repair. This one's kind of come out of nowhere and just started taking over because it's just very high profit margin. These are like 30 to 40% profit margin just from where we're at in the market, because it's a pretty simple service that most people don't know how to do.
Yeah, it's an easy recurring one where you can go in, diagnose something pretty quick. You're not doing a lot of, your odds are your jobs will be fairly average ticket. Like it's not going to be thousands. You'll probably be, call out fee, hourly fee apart, maybe a couple $100 for the whole thing. If you do right by somebody, they're just going to keep calling you out and tell you. It's one of those ones where the more transparent and honest and efficient you are with your job, because a garage door means cars not coming out. So
yeah, you got to get it fixed.
Necessity. So if you're efficient, you're fast, and you're clean with it, you'll be seeing a lot of that come through, because a light goes out, a spring rusts, a mechanical failure. If you've lived in a house, you have a garage door. If you have a garage, if that thing goes off, we don't know what the heck to do with it. We're just hitting the button, hoping.
And it's not safe to have it stuck open or something, because someone could just waltz right into your home. So it's something that people have to get fixed right away. It's easy to fix, not easy to fix. I don't know how to fix one, but it's a relatively simple set of services.
It is not mechanically complex, but you don't want to be, but easier to break and expensive to replace.
Another one that we have next is smart home automation. Smart home automation, we rated a B. Now, we have a friend here in town with a incredible smart home automation business.
An absolutely great bang up job. Very, I would say he's one of the more competitively priced people in the market, and he has some of the highest quality of work. So he really he hits that nice middle ground of like not the most expensive, but one of the most efficient.
Now, the cool thing about this is it's a growing market. People want more and more of this stuff. It's a luxury market too. You're really only dealing with luxury clientele for this type of thing. So just better client base. It's not an easy thing to get into, and it's not an easy thing to stay on top of. This is a very skilled labor force that you're talking about. So labor is going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge to find the right labor, to keep them up to speed, to make sure they're staying on the cutting edge, to make sure you as a company are staying on the cutting edge of things. That's where things get really challenging here. But if you are able to do that, the profit margins, I mean, our friend that has one here in town, 40% profit margins, great home service to be in, but just it's a tough one.
Yeah, you're dealing with, wealthy people. Just trying to get that book of business is going to be a bit of a slog, but if you can get it, you'll do just fine. And like you said, the labor, it's hard to get people to do to run clean lines and do that stuff. So
now next we have countertop replacement, which I worked with a countertop replacement company recently. They do a lot of granite, quartz, and other types of counters that they're replacing in homes, mostly, sometimes in commercial locations. It is a great business, but the market's good right now. And the market can shift and change a lot. And at the end of the day, it is a luxury type of purchase, or something that appeals to someone that's a real estate investor or a flipper or something like that. And so it does have a lot of, fluctuation that's going to happen when the market fluctuates, and that can make business difficult to predict. Also a little bit lower profit margin. A fully matured countertop replacement company with a full team built out and everything, it's going to be doing like 13 to 15% margins. A little bit lower margins. You really got to stay tight on stuff. Skilled labor for fabrication, tough. It's a tough business, but it's a good business. Very high profit. Or very, very high ticket.
Yeah, it's certainly one of those where nobody's ever truly needed a granite countertop. And the cyclicality of it is pretty brutal. If you're not prepared, you don't have good cash reserves. So while, yeah, it's probably arguably one of the coolest businesses to be in, just because, cool stone, curating your showroom, really fun stuff. But when spending tightens up, first thing that's going to go is any sort of construction or additional home maintenance, and that's going to be right there with it.
Sure. Y'all know that we had to give you an S tier. And our S tier actually starts with the word S too. It is septic. Septic services. This is, I mean, we talked about this on a recent episode. This is one of those businesses where, you know, people don't want to be in it. They shy away from it because of the dirtiness and the disgustingness of dealing with these systems. But my God, massive ticket prices. If you're replacing septic tanks, you're making huge profit margins, maybe over 30%, and on very high ticket, like $10,000 to $15,000 replacements. And it's because there's just not a lot of companies out there that can do this. And
what are you going to do? Not have a septic tank? That is not an option. So you're
at the mercy of having to do it.
It's one of those where if you don't maybe have the ability to get in and replace them, if you can do septic cleaning, again, recent episode, great margins on septic cleaning, just because what a homeowner could septic cleaning from my research isn't hugely complex, but the act of going there, cracking her open and cleaning her out, I would rather not. I'll pay somebody. And if you can be that person, you're going to do really well for yourself.
That's exactly right.
S tier all the way.
S tier. So if you're going to pick one from this and you're open to anything and can learn it, septic is a great place to be. Last but not least, well, towards the end of least, we have flooring. And this really for the same reason that we gave countertop replacement the rating that we did, flooring follows a similar territory. It's going to be kind of this luxury thing that fluctuates with the market. I mean, you might have a situation where your flooring really gets busted up and you have to replace it, but most of the time it's going to be kind of cyclical with the market.
Yeah, I mean, flooring is not something that needs to be replaced often. If you have a house where you take care of your floors and you don't have pets, you might never replace your floors. You might have them. You know, what do real estate people always love? They love old original hardwood floors. So, you know, a house from 1920s with original floors, they didn't replace those. So it's definitely a luxury market and a want, not a need.
Absolutely. Well, this has been our rankings of part 2 of the top home services to be in and some that you might want to avoid. Let us know, though, what you think in the comments. Are there some home services you wish we would have covered that we should cover next time? Are there some that you disagreed with our ranking on? Or are there some where you were nodding your head saying, you know what, I own a business like that and I completely agree? Just let us know in the comments what you want to hear next time.
Yeah, what do we nail? What do we mess up on? Let us know.
And until the next time, we will see you on the next episode of the Deal Flow Live podcast. And it's been a pleasure having you.